But there's more to the tale. This video will explain the events around the first Thanksgiving and how it's not the image ingrained in tradition. At the start of the 17th century, southern New England was home to a variety of busy communities within several confederations. These were the people of the first light, and they called their home the Dawnland. Political leaders were known as sachems and had been trading with Europeans for over 100 years before the
got the drill.
Relations soured only after deceitful Europeans kidnapped locals to sell as slaves.
What?
Permanent European settlement was
tell me about it.
due to the already high population of native occupants.
All right, let me
but
chill
in
out.
1616, tradesmen introduced a disease to the Dawnland, whose inhabitants died in droves from a lack of immunity. In 3 years, up to 90% were wiped out in several confederations, including the Wampanoag. Their head sachem, Massasoit, was aware of how close they were to being subjugated by their conflicted enemy, the Narragansett. He was determined to save his people from such a fate. This was the political world the Pilgrims were about to enter. The Pilgrims were not called Pilgrims by their contemporaries. They were known as Separatists, a branch of the English Puritans.
I don't know what the hell going on. I'm gonna be 100.
Began persecuting them in 1604, so the Separatists fled to Holland, where they were free to worship. But because they feared losing their national and communal identity.
All right, if y'all don't know what persecuted means, basically what that means was they was basically kicked out of England. So y'all just learned a new word. They was persecuted and kicked out of England, so aka kicked out of England. Now they had to go find a new continent or country to
decided on America and
go somewhere else.
James for a patent that would grant them rights to build a colony. They planned to make a profit catching fish to pay off the debts.
I learned something, man. I still remember some stuff in school.
Set sail on September 6th. 2 months later, Cape Cod was spotted, and 16 men were sent to shore to inspect the area. Unfortunately, the settlers didn't know how to fish, and food was running out.
Oh shit, I keep doing this shit, fuck.
Graves, homes, and storage pits to keep everyone alive. Then came their first hostile encounter with natives. But
what the hell?
On December 12th, they reached.
What was that sound?
They did not land on any specific rock, but folklore insists they did. Construction began in January. By winter's end, 44 settlers would be dead from bad conditions. In March, they were surprised when a man named Samoset walked into New Plymouth, greeting them in English. He told them they were building on a village called Patuxet, whose residents had all died from the recent epidemic. It belonged to the Wampanoag, and their chief, Massasoit, was watching them. The settlers were eager to trade, so 5 days later, Samoset returned with furs and companions, including Tisquantum, known famously as Squantum.
So basically, when the sailors from Britain or England, when they didn't know what they was doing, Samoset came in clutch to help them out. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like the translator. If he came, because he's saying a lot of crazy ass words, so y'all don't understand what he's saying. I got y'all. Basically, he came to help them because they're finna starve and die. He came and helped them, taught them, you know what I'm saying? Well, they ain't say it, but I'm assuming he came to teach them how to, like, fish and do all that stuff.
Massasoit had arrived. After years of dealing with
what his name was?
In perfect English, that Massasoit had arrived.
Wait.
5 days later, Samoset returned with furs and companions, including Tisquantum. Known famously as Squanto, he had come to tell them in perfect English that Massasoit had arrived. After years of dealing with
I remember Squanto. Shout out Squanto. He's the OG.
The newcomers. Edward Winslow was sent to be a hostage and declared the settlers' peaceful intentions. Satisfied, Massasoit walked into New Plymouth and was regally greeted by the governor. A peace treaty was created, ensuring
so you remember, he also got them some bad bitches, so, and them helping out the sailors got them all the hoes.
By enemies. With the help
and he had the weed too.
New Plymouth settlers began to fare better. He taught them how to grow crops and was absolutely vital as an interpreter. To the Separatists, he was a gift from God. But in fact, Squanto had been kidnapped from Patuxet in 1614 and shipped to Spain to be sold into slavery. He ended up in London at the home of a merchant who taught him English and arranged for Squanto's return to the Dawnland in 1619. But Patuxet was now gone, wiped away by the epidemic. Massasoit took him in.
He got kidnapped and was in slavery?
Abroad, but needed a translator to parley with the newcomers. He eventually
Why did he
sent
never
his
say
warrior
this?
Hobamok to live among the settlers and keep an eye on Squanto. By fall, the settlers had a bountiful harvest and a feast was held to celebrate. Massasoit showed up with 90 warriors and 5 deer for the meal.
Okay.
For 3 days, the English and Wampanoag ate and entertained one another.
So this is where the Thanksgiving come from.
Thanksgiving children learn about in school. However, the word Thanksgiving would not have been used by these settlers to denote a harvest feast. For Puritans, a day of Thanksgiving was a day of fasting while giving thanks to God in prayer. But the story of Pilgrims and Indians does not end here.
Huh?
During New Plymouth's first year, Squanto had been up to something. Realizing his substantial power as the only English speaker of his people, he conceived a plan to overthrow Massasoit.
Oh my
He
gosh.
persuaded locals he could command the English to make war or peace at his will. Hobomak was suspicious of Squanto and warned Governor Bradford. Soon enough, they discovered Squanto's plot and informed Massasoit, who was furious. He demanded Squanto be handed over for a swift execution. Bradford refused. The interpreter was too valuable to give up. But according to the treaty, Squanto's life belonged in the hands of his sachem. Bradford finally conceded. He was about to hand over Squanto when an unidentified ship appeared. The alarm it caused delayed Bradford and worried Massasoit's envoys. Angered and impatient, they left. The ship carried 60 Englishmen planning to build a colony near Boston. They accused the Massachusetts of initiating a conspiracy to kill the colonists. Warned about the plot, New Plymouth's leaders launched a preemptive strike to save their impudent countrymen.
So they start fighting each other?
For a time. In that time, more Puritan settlers arrived, soon outnumbering the natives. And while the Pilgrims' Treaty with Massasoit lasted until the sachem's death, other Puritans were not concerned with such alliances. Their fanatic religious principles ensured no peace between the two cultures could last. To Puritans, Native Americans were the other, wild, savage, godless. With such an ideology, the outcome was inevitable. If they did not convert to Christianity and surrender their cultural identity, they had to be eliminated. The first Thanksgiving was a brief moment of harmony between two worlds, but sadly it was short-lived.
What the fuck?
Capitalist opportunities the Dawnland presented, combined with zealous puritanical beliefs, were incentive enough to wipe away the native inhabitants. There is nothing wrong with sharing a feast of thanks with loved ones, but remember the true events that started the holiday, and not the fairy tale.
What the hell? So that shit wasn't really a Thanksgiving. That shit was a massacre. Or like it wasn't even like lit. It was like motherfuckers got. I don't even know. Damn, that's crazy. Well, I thought like okay, I thought it was like something more crazier, but I thought like it was like some massacre shit. Like they came in like they ate and shit, and everybody's got their ass like they start killing them after the Thanksgiving. But it's still, you know what I'm saying, they basically wiped their whole culture. They came to help and shit, and they all got wiped out for helping them. So they like basically took over. And then the interpreter, he was actually working for England, Squanto, and he was gonna try to overthrow the Native Americans. But they still got this shit crazy though, man. But hey, that's the real truth. What's happened, bro? What the fuck is wrong? But no, this is what really happened on Thanksgiving, man. But you know what I'm saying, and all that, y'all still enjoy it. Y'all have fun with your family. You know what I'm saying, do your thing, bro. And I'll see y'all in the next video, man. You have a good one. Peace.